everyone. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us today. And congratulations on your admission to NYU. My name is Camille and I work on the marketing and communications team in the Division of Enrollment Management. And I'm so excited to welcome you to our Your Future in Focus event today. We'll be talking all about education. So you all will be in the front row for a nice fireside chat between a current NYU student and an NYU alum who's working in the field. So our hope today is that not only will you learn a little bit more about NYU, but you'll get to hear about all the amazing resources, our incredible faculty, and all the things that really help students leverage their skills and talents to secure the future of their dreams. Before we dive into our conversation, I did just want to remind you of a couple of housekeeping tips. So the first thing is we won't cover any admissions or financial aid information today, but if you do have questions about that, we have a ton of resources for you. You can visit our website, you can call us, you can send an email. Our staff is always happy to address any questions or concerns that you have about those topics. And then the second thing is that you as attendees will be muted for the duration of our event, but we absolutely would love for you to join the conversation. So if you have questions for our panelists, we encourage you to just drop them into the Q&A box on the bottom of your screen. We may pose a few of them live, and in case we don't get to them, we have some staff working behind the scenes to answer those questions for you as well. So it is my pleasure to introduce our panelists today. We're going to dive into our conversation. Joining us, we have our current student and admissions ambassador, Rachel Yaffe Bellany, and our special alumni guest, Philip Thomas Jr. So I'm going to turn it over to them to get us started with our conversation.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel. I'm a junior in Steinhardt studying early childhood and special education. I'm triple minoring in child and adolescent mental health studies, child development and social intervention and history. And my pronouns are she, her.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry. My name is Philip Thomas. I graduated in 2014. I majored in math. I went to the College of Arts and Science. I was math and pre-med. I'm currently the director of a fellowship program at Global Citizen, so it's pretty cool. So with that being said, Rachel, why don't you tell us about your story to your journey to NYU and like what drew you to the university?
Absolutely. So I'm from New Jersey, and I'm from a very, very quiet and boring suburb in the middle of New Jersey. So immediately I was drawn to the vibrancy and energy of New York and the fact that as an NYU student, you really get to be a part of the city. You know, you're not isolated on a campus that's walled off. You're really incorporated on the streets of the city, and I love that. And then another part of my reason for going to NYU is that I've known that I want to be a teacher for a really long time, and a lot of schools don't have great education programs or don't offer majors that allow you to specifically prepare to be a teacher, and NYU does. And the teaching and learning department at NYU is so incredible and so welcoming, and the faculty are so intelligent, and it was just a beautiful department, and I was so excited to be a part of it. Philip, what was your journey to NYU?
Similar to you, the campus drew me on. You weren't like confined to this one area. It's like you got to travel throughout NYC. I'm a first generation college student. Like my parents are from Jamaica. So we moved to New York pretty early. And I was just drawn to New York, so I just didn't want to leave. Being in Manhattan is crazy. um, but also the diversity on campus. There's so many different cultures on campus. I was able to learn from so many different students outside of the classroom. So that was pretty interesting. So that's great. Um,
Wonderful. I'm really curious about your journey from a math major to entering a field related to education. I think that's not a typical trajectory. So how did you find your way into that field?
um, Teachers, man. The teachers on campus really pushed me towards that. Um, Being the math major, you know, it sounds boring, but the teachers presented it in such a cool and like interesting way. I remember my first day of class, we used math to like figure out the distance from the earth to like the sun. It sounds nerdy, but it was so cool at the same time. Um, but seriously, the teachers really pushed me to develop myself professionally and personally. and really took an interest into my academics. And I think that's something that NYU really has. That's great. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I just want to say I love that response because as someone who wants to be a teacher, it's always so wonderful to hear how inspiring teachers are for everyone else. Because that's what I want to do. Um, but yeah, so I'm an early childhood education major. I've wanted to be a teacher for a really long time, but I think it was probably when I was a freshman in high school, so ninth grade. I took a class called Child Growth and Development where we got to actually run a preschool in our classroom. And it was literally the best part of my day. I was so excited to go to it and to work with all the kids and to teach lessons. And so I was kind of like, whoa, maybe this is the age group I want to work with. Maybe this is really what I want to do. And then entering NYU and being in the teaching and learning department, it's such an incredible community. And having conversations with other aspiring teachers has been so eye-opening for me. And I think it also speaks to the diverse community at NYU, like you were talking about. So many of my peers have had vastly different educational experiences from me, have different reasons for wanting to be a teacher, and hearing from them and learning from them has been so fulfilling and so important for me.
So what resources do you use on campus that's like helping you personally and professionally?
Definitely. I mean, my academic advisor is my favorite human being. I go to her all the time and she is incredible. She's helped me plan out my, every class that I've had to take for my entire time here and helped me figure out how to like do 3 minors at once, which is something I just randomly decided to do last year. I was like, why don't I just, and she's been such an incredible guiding force there. And then the other faculty in the teaching and learning department have been incredible. They're all so kind and so open. So it's really been easy to go to them with questions. And if I need advice about what I want to do and how to, apply to a school and what internships I should do, they've been so supportive and open for that. And then more generally on campus, the Wasserman Center for Career Development is amazing.
Yeah.
So helpful. I am on Handshake, which is the website for job listings, constantly.
Yeah. Back when I was in school, it sounds like ages ago, but we didn't have Handshake. We called it CareerNet.
Yeah.
But Wasserman used to be like my home, especially junior and senior year. I was like, I need a job like ASAP. And the counselors in the Wasserman Center definitely helped me out with like a resume, cover letter, like really showing me what I've done during my 4 years at NYU and how to like really show it on a resume, which is really cool. And also the clubs on campus, they were legitimately, me and my friends have this joke like after 3 o'clock, if you're not in Kimmel, like what are you doing? So but there's so many clubs, so many leadership opportunities that NYU presents, and like the opportunity to bring something new to campus is encouraged. So like that was pretty cool.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Um, I totally agree. I was wondering, you talk so much about the teachers that really inspired you to go into education. Can you kind of speak to that mentorship that you found at NYU?
Yeah, since we're talking to future kids, students, office hours sounds really boring, but it's like the prime opportunity to build a relationship with your teachers. Um, you can imagine like being in class with like 30, 40, 50 students, and like it's hard to build that relationship just in class. I would stress that is really important outside of class. Just go to office hours, introduce yourself to the teacher, build a relationship. Um, I like to say college is 50% networking, and you're networking with the students, but also with the teachers. Once they know who you are and know what you're interested in, you're able to find out opportunities that probably isn't online, or they're able to push you to do something new. I know my math teacher, I never thought about teaching. I never thought about education, but my math teacher took a liking to me and the way I presented problems to a relatable experience and said like I would have a, I don't know, I would be good at it. He pushed me to take a graduate course my senior year. And that really showed me that I can do something in education that's not traditional, not the traditional teacher route. And I can actually engage kids to probably want to do math, you know? What about yourself? What about the mentorship?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the professors that I've had have been so wonderful. I feel like I'm just talking about the teaching and learning department nonstop. They're incredible. I love them so much. But yeah, I feel like every class I've been in at NYU, I've felt immediately comfortable with the professor teaching the class. I felt like A, they care about what I think and what I have to say, and B, that they want to hear more. So again, yes, what you're saying, office hours are amazing. Definitely take advantage of it. I remember spring 2020, right when we were shifting to remote learning, I had like a midterm coming up and I got on a Zoom call with my history professor and we were literally on it for like 2 hours and we just were going over material and talking about, history, and it was incredible. It was so interesting. It really prepared me for the midterm, but I also felt really connected to that professor in that moment. He was really excited to share all this information and to go over everything with me. And so it was just an incredible moment that I remember. But yeah.
So I know we had the COVID pandemic. How has that affected learning?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm currently at NYU, and so I've gotten to witness the transition into remote learning. And it's definitely been tough as a student to do that. But I've actually been really impressed with NYU's handling of things. So I was actually studying abroad in Italy at our site in Florence in spring 2020. So that was a bit of a bummer. We got sent home, of course. But they handled things so well. Literally, NYU paid for our plane tickets home because it was so sudden, and really supported us with how we were going to do classes when our professors were 6 hours ahead of us in a different time zone. And they shifted around our schedules and really worked with us to help us feel as supported as possible, which was incredible. And then in terms of, the fully remote semesters we've had this past year, it's really, it's not been bad. Like I had low expectations and I still feel like I'm getting to know my peers and getting to know my professors and really getting a lot out of the classes that I'm in, even though it's all on my computer. So I really am impressed with NYU's transition. And then I'll also say I started student teaching this year in New York City schools, and I was very nervous about doing that completely online because, the way that I want to work with kindergartners is not necessarily through a computer. But again, the NYU Field Studies office has been so incredible in supporting us and guiding us. And they created, separate webinars for us to go to specifically on how to remotely teach, and help us gain tools and skills to do that. And so it's actually been really incredible and beneficial, even though I haven't been physically in the classroom.
Oh,
How
man.
have things shifted for you because of the pandemic?
It's crazy. So like I said, I'm a director of this fellowship program. So basically we take underrepresented groups and we teach them professional and personal development skills. And we also take them on a trip to South Africa, like a learning experience. Because of the pandemic, we weren't able to do that. So really funny story, I contacted one of my mentors from NYU, who's a teacher, and I asked for her advice on what should I do? How can I make the program good? I had so many stakeholders who are like, what are we about to do? And my mentor actually helped me come up with this creative idea where we're just doing like a video vlog and in each kid's city, and they're gonna film themselves doing a community project from beginning to end.
Wow.
And these are high school students who are given like $2,000 to do something in their community that will help them. And like, it's so dope, it's so cool. We did it for 1 year and people are raving about it. Stakeholders are like giving us more money to actually invest more in the kids. So it's great. So like, this sounds super corny, super cheesy, but I'm grateful for NYU for that. It just shows like even after you graduate, once you build a relationship with a faculty member or anybody on campus, they're willing to help you out. Like NYU's a lifelong community or like family, you know? Yeah, I'm sorry. I just love NYU.
Oh my God, me too. That's why we're here. No, I totally agree with you. I mean, the people that I've met at NYU have completely changed the way that I see the world and honestly the way that I see myself too. I feel like at college, you're able to explore things a lot more and to really examine who you are, and to come into yourself. And that's something that I'm so grateful for NYU for allowing me to do, because it's not a university that just lets you, stay like you are in high school, it pushes you to go out of your comfort zone and to experience new things. And I'm so glad, because honestly, I'm not naturally a risk taker. I am, good being, at home. But you're not really, allowed to do that here. They really want you to take advantage of being in the city and of all the resources that are at your disposal. And all the people around you are so smart and passionate and engaging that it's like, how can you stay the same? You have to change. It's incredible.
Love it. Let's see. What is one piece of advice you would give to your the attendees on the call?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'd say just in general, take advantage of every opportunity that is presented to you. I know that when I first started at NYU, I was like nervous. And I like didn't want to go to events alone. And I wish that I had, I went to a bunch of stuff because I like dragged my roommates with me. But I wish that I'd just been like, you know what? It's okay to go to something alone. It's not dramatic. And to really have taken advantage of all of those opportunities, because again, there's so much that NYU is offering you, and there are so many resources that you can take. You just really have to take the initiative and grab onto them, and to find those supports. So definitely like take advantage of the opportunities presented to you. What about you?
Of course, take advantage of everything outside of the classroom. That's
That's a good one.
legitimately it. I know we had Club Fest. They used to like shut down. It used to be Coles at the time, but now it's going to be a new building. But Club Fest was a thing. Like, we used to want to skip class just so we can go and check out all the different clubs. You sign up for like every club, get candy, and then you show up to like it's so fun. There's so many events that NYU puts on. I would just say be super active on campus. Um, College is the best 4 years of your life. I'm still talking about my experiences with my friends. Just really enjoy it, be yourself, and enjoy NYC, man. It's great.
Oh my God, absolutely. I'm a huge theater fan, and I was lucky enough to be living with two drama majors my freshman year. I just got randomly placed into an apartment with them, and we went to like literally over 100 shows, our first year, because, NYU has a lot of great ticket discounts. Just gonna plug that. It's incredible, Ticket Central. And then also, if you are a drama student, you get a lot of free tickets, and then you can share it with your friends who are in early childhood education, and they appreciate it a lot. And it was just so amazing to really feel like I was a New Yorker. I was part of New York City. I was able to go to a show on a Thursday night, and then wake up and go to class the next day. So definitely, yes, take advantage of everything outside the classroom, because there are so many learning opportunities all around you, for sure.
Oh my gosh. I remember I was like president of Gentlemen Equality. So like we were able to bring concerts to campus. We were able to bring Big Sean. I thought that was great.
That's
I thought it
incredible.
was amazing. Um, I know that I forgot what they're called, but I know Future was on campus 1 year. And as an alum, I was like, I wish I could sign up for classes so I could go see Future for $5. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
that's amazing. But yeah, let's see. Any more questions?
Yeah, this is incredible. I think we're going to take a couple of questions from the audience, but just listening to the two of you talk about like your mutual love for NYU is like, just warms my heart. I love it. I love it so much. It definitely woke me up. Um, yeah, this is really, really great. And I see we have a couple of questions coming in from the audience as well. I think one thing that really stood out, I don't even know if both of you realize, it seemed like the theme of the conversation was about how you both have developed these amazing relationships with faculty during your time at NYU, which I think is something that I love highlighting because, it's a huge school. And I think people are always surprised to hear that you can develop relationships with faculty And it just makes the university that's so big feel so much smaller. So I love that both of you, like in different ways, talked about how you had those different experiences and encourage people to go to office hours and to really build those relationships, because I think that's so important. So we're going to take a couple questions from the audience. So a couple people have questions about the student teaching process at NYU. So Rachel, I know you're an expert there. If you can talk to us a little bit about that process as far as when you start and if you're able to do student teaching outside of New York City, like if you're able to do that while you are studying away.
Sure, absolutely. So if you're in early childhood or childhood education, you will student teach all of your junior and your senior year. If you are in the upper education, so like 7 through 12, and you're in a specific subject area, you'll student teach just the entirety of your senior year. And so there are opportunities for field work from day one. Your first semester at NYU, you'll be taking a class called Field Studies, which is so amazing. I loved it so much, where you get to visit different schools in New York City and different educational institutions. So I know I went to an elementary school, I went to a high school, and then I went to a museum that did educational programs. And you go with a group of students who are also in the teaching and learning department, and you get to talk to teachers and observe classes. It's amazing. And then at the end of your sophomore year or the end of your junior year, depending on when you're going to start student teaching, so the semester before you start, you'll attend this orientation that's given by the NYU Field Studies office, and they'll walk you through everything. So all of the forms that you have to fill out, you'll have to get fingerprinted in order to work in the Department of Education. But that's like a very easy process that, again, they'll walk you through. And then they will send you an email and they'll match you with a school and a teacher. And then you start making those connections. You reach out to, we call them your mentor teacher. So the teacher that you're working with in your classroom. You'll also be paired with a field mentor, which is an NYU faculty member who is there to help you if you have any questions. They also interact with your school directly. So if you're having trouble getting in contact with someone, or you're nervous about asking a question and you want your field mentor to reach out to administration for you, they're there for you. And then they also typically do weekly meetings with you just to debrief about how your student teaching is going. But then once you're paired with your school, you're in it. So you just join the class and you figure out your role there with your mentor teacher. And I've had amazing experiences. I'm in my second semester of student teaching. It's all been completely online, but I'm about to be fully vaccinated, so I'm going to go in person next week, and I'm really excited. But it's really just speaking to your mentor teacher, getting to know the kids, figuring out how you can create a lesson and get involved in their daily routine. It's amazing. It's so fun. Honestly, the best part of my week is when I get to log on and see like 20 kindergartners on my screen. And then in terms of studying away, you can't, so NYU doesn't facilitate student teaching outside of New York City, but I studied away in Florence for like a month because then there was a pandemic and we got sent home. But they had a volunteer opportunity where you got to go into an Italian classroom and teach English to second graders. So I signed up for that immediately, and I got to do it once and then we got sent home. But there are ways to connect with schools in the country you're visiting and volunteer and work with kids in a different capacity. So it wouldn't be official student teaching, but still an amazing experience.
Yeah, that's great. I love that you were able to find that opportunity, even if it only happened one time.
Yeah.
At least the opportunities are there if you look for them. And I think it's great that, the student teaching process, of course, it's, there's a lot that goes into it, but it sounds like NYU provides so much support to their students to make sure that they're good to go and they have everything that they need to feel like equipped to go into the classroom. So that's amazing. So Philip, I know you mentioned that, Wasserman was like your second home while you were here at NYU. So Francis was asking if you can talk a little bit, and Rachel, you can answer this one too, if you can talk a little bit about some specific internships and jobs that you had during your time and how Wasserman was able to help you secure and find some of those opportunities.
Yeah, of course. Wasserman is a huge help. I know they helped me with my resume and my CV. I didn't have much experience coming to NYU, so You meet with a counselor and you basically tell them what like your career goals are, or what you have an interest in, and they kind of help shape your resume and your CV to like help you get that job, right? Or that internship. And they also help you search for internships. So I had a wide range of internships from my junior senior year. I went from working in sports with the New York Knicks to trying to work in a hospital, do a little internship in a hospital, which was fun. But the most impactful was I was able to secure an internship at this community college in the Bronx. And I was able to teach single fathers who haven't finished their GED. And with no teaching experience, except for the fact that I was a math major and like people were like, oh my God, you know math, help us. I know that NYU, the Washington Center helped shape my resume to show the skills that I can present in the classroom to actually have this internship, have this job. And then outside of that, they were able to connect me with a faculty member who would take their time during their office hours to like show me different skills that work in the classroom and how would I manage creating a curriculum for a semester and teaching it. So that was really helpful and impactful. And I would say that experience within itself helped me go into education. Like after that, I went into high schools and started teaching, and now I went to middle schools. So I'm use take advantage of the Washington Center. That's my main takeaway. What about you, Rachel?
I mean, you said it beautifully. I completely agree. Wasserman is such an incredible resource. The people are so nice and supportive, and they really want to help you get a job. They want to help you put your best foot forward. So they're just completely on your side if you need to fix your resume or like learn how to write a cover letter, which I did not know how to do a couple years ago. Like I really had no idea what I was doing. And then also, I know it was called CareerNet when you used it, Philip. Handshake, the online job listing site that Wasserman facilitates, is just incredible. You upload your resume and it like lists tons of jobs, and sometimes they're like really easy to apply for. You just like type in your name and like attach your resume and you've already applied, because they want to help you do it. And like every internship I've gotten through Handshake. So it's such a great resource.
I love that. Support is the name of the game here at NYU. They are not going to leave you out there on your own. So Philip, another question for you from Shajia, who has joined us before. Can you talk a little bit about your job at Global Citizen and how, I think she wants to focus on health, but maybe just talking a little bit about some internship opportunities there for students who might be interested in that sector.
Yeah, so my job is pretty cool, I guess. Uh, how do I explain it? So basically, we look for kids between the ages of 17 and 20 who want to be leaders and develop their leadership development and professional development and personal development. And I create this curriculum that lasts about 6 months, and they teach you things that you don't normally learn in the classroom. Teach them like credit, I teach them stocks, I teach them the resume CV thing is pretty important. And they also go out into the world and they do a community project. And also I fly them out to NYC to just experience New York and experience the culture. It's super cool. We get celebrities involved. GC is like a celebrity organization. So we have celebrities, but also executives from different organizations and companies come in and talk to the kids about what they look for. So this kind of relates to the internship question in terms of we purposely do this because we understand it's hard to get a job. And the more experience you have on your resume or like internship experience, it would help you get that job. So we have like the CEO from Life Nation come in and talk to the kids about what would be good on their resume to highlight. A lot of it is leadership opportunities. I wouldn't say it's hard to get a job at NYC or an internship. I would just honestly say the hardest part is showing that on your resume, and you just need help in doing that. Everyone has qualities that are transferable for any job. You just need to know how to communicate that story through a resume. So I don't think it's hard for an internship. I just think with help and proper guidance, you'll be able to get whatever you want.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was really, really great advice that you dropped there. So a question for both of you, and I think we'll wrap it up after this one, but someone is asking, how is it possible to manage your workload and all the things that you do outside of class, with your student teaching? Rachel, if you can start us off, how do you manage it all?
Sure. So I will firstly say that organization and Google Calendar are your best friends. I am on my calendar on my phone constantly. I also have a paper calendar on my wall because one calendar is not enough. I need to have things in multiple places. And then also advice that I got right before classes started my first year at NYU was to take all of your syllabi and to just compile every single assignment you have in chronological order on one spreadsheet. And I have done that every single semester since I started, and it is the most amazing thing. It's so helpful. Like at a glance, you see what you have coming up, what you have to do that week. You don't have to go through a bunch of different, syllabi to figure out what you have going on. It's all in one place. So I highly, highly suggest that. Another thing I'll say is that I think coming from high school into college, the idea of not being in class for like literally 8 hours straight a day was very foreign to me. But when you're in college, you are taking usually about 4 classes a semester. So you're in class for like a couple hours a day. So you have a lot more time around your classes than you do in high school. So there's more time to do work and to get lunch with friends and to go see a show than you might initially think. But again, staying organized, keeping on top of your work, prioritizing, that will really allow you to get things done, get what you need to do done so that you can have fun and explore the city and hang out with your friends, which is one of the best things about being at NYU.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Rachel. Don't follow my advice, which would be don't sleep. It's horrible advice. But I know during my time, I wanted to be a part of everything, and you can't unless you have proper time management skills. And I definitely didn't have that. So like my first 2 years, I didn't really get much sleep. But like Rachel pointed out, once you find your organizational skills and you actually, hey, I got this assignment due next month at this time, you really get ahead of the work and the work becomes easier. So follow everything Rachel said, do not follow anything I said.
Philip, I still think that's good advice because it doesn't come as naturally to everyone. It's not something that always like you just used to go to college and then like automatically you are 100% organized and you have your priorities and all that stuff. So it just took you a little while. That's all. You didn't sleep for the first 2 years, but you learned a lesson and here you are, successful in the field. So that's all that matters. But thank you both so, so much. It was incredible to just watch your conversation and hear all the amazing things that NYU has given you. So we are going to go ahead and wrap up. I hope everyone enjoyed our session and had a chance to learn about some of the things that you might be able to look forward to as a student. And we would absolutely love for you to join us at our next event in the series. It's happening on April 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be chatting with an alumni who went from studying humanities to working in the field of politics. But until then, we do encourage you to check out all of our other offerings on NYU Homebase, where you can find some additional information about our upcoming events. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We're at Meet NYU on all platforms. So with that, thank you all so, so much for joining us. Have a great day, and we can't wait to see you all in the fall.